This is a News 2 breaking news alert.
Just in, a verdict in the trial against the man accused of killing a Dickson County sergeant. It has been 3 years since Sergeant Daniel Baker was shot 6 times, and prosecutors say at the hands of Stephen Wiggins. You're watching News 2 at 4. I'm Erica Francis.
And I'm Alex Dennis. Stephanie Langston is in court today for closing arguments. She has been there getting us up to speed. We understand that 12 jurors have just returned with a verdict in this case. You are taking a look at the camera there in court. That is Stephen Wiggins approaching the bench. We are going to be giving you a live look in just a few moments as we get more information about this trial that has been going on, as Stephanie has been covering it live.
And again, this is day 4 of the trial. Steph has been there every single day, and those jurors, there are 12 of them, are from Knoxville. They were deliberating, and again, we just received notice that they are walking right back into the courtroom right now. They did reach a verdict. Of course, we are unaware of what that verdict is, but we are hoping to take that live for you once that is announced. Again, you are looking at Stephen Wiggins right now in court, and then this is video from earlier, I believe, in the year that we have.
Yes, that is correct. 12 jurors from Knoxville. They deliberated for a couple of hours. The jurors were nodding in agreement as the prosecution gave them the closing arguments and gave them the instruction. You are looking at a live look from our News 2 camera in Dickson County. Again, we are awaiting. We have found out that the jurors have made a decision and a verdict in the Stephen Wiggins trial. Let's see if we can take this live for you so you can hear it with us here on News 2.
All right, it looks like we are still waiting to hear from the judge. As we told you, the jurors were just walking in after reaching a verdict in this very high-profile murder case. Again, this is the Stephen Wiggins trial. He's accused of killing Sergeant Daniel Baker, and we are about to find out what he is convicted, if anything.
And you know, the defense said something earlier that there was no doubt that Stephen Wiggins killed Sergeant Daniel Baker. As we have all seen it on body camera, we showed it for you yesterday here on News 2, the freeze frame video from the body camera worn by the officer that clearly showed Stephen Wiggins' face. But the question is that they have to consider whether or not it was premeditated. So that was the big question that was left to the jurors, 12 jurors from Knoxville that have now have the decision.
And for those of you who might not be familiar with this case, Sergeant Daniel Baker was killed in the line of duty back on May 30th of 2018. So the family, understandably, has been through so much in the last few years, and we've heard from them as well. They have gone through all of this gruesome testimony, and hearing that, and finally today, hopefully some closure for the family.
And if Wiggins is actually convicted on first-degree murder, the defense has asked for 24 hours to prepare for the penalty phase. The same jury will then hear more testimony as to why Wiggins should or should not be put to death. Big questions that will be coming out here in just a few minutes. Again, we are taking a live look here at the Stephen Wiggins trial. News 2 has a camera inside. That verdict has been reached. The 12 jurors have been ushered in, as well as the defendant. It sounds as though they are getting some instruction. Let's stop to see what we can hear for you here.
Before we bring the jury in. That's the reason for the delay, so if everyone will be patient and sit tightly, please. While we are waiting on the last one or two folks to arrive.
Okay, it appears we are waiting for the jury to be brought into the courtroom right now. Again, this is a Stephen Wiggins trial. We are waiting to find out about Sergeant Baker, the officer that was killed in the line of duty. And again, questions still remain whether or not this was a premeditated act by Mr. Wiggins.
Some of the charges that Wiggins faces are first-degree murder, vehicular arson, abuse of a corpse, and impersonation of a law enforcement officer. Again, he could be sentenced to death, and we will kind of walk you through each one of those certain charges, and the jury will have to decide and go through each one of those charges separately and decide whether or not Stephen Wiggins is guilty.
The judge there just instructing everyone there to keep their emotions in check. If you have been watching this with us, it has been incredibly emotional as you heard the officers, friends of Sergeant Baker, recount their final moments, hearing their friend shot and set on fire. We had one of his partners give a really emotional testimony, running up, talking about wanting to render first aid and clearly seeing that Wiggins was no longer with him, that he thought about Wiggins' daughter and all of the thoughts that went through his mind. So you can imagine already it was emotional just hearing the stories, seeing the video, recounting the body camera. So again, this is going to be an emotionally charged verdict.
That's what I was just going to mention, that body camera footage that we saw. I believe it was yesterday or the day prior, and it was one of those moments where it was just hard to watch. And I remember it gave the both of us chills. And so that's what those jurors were watching, and we've heard testimony from several different people. And again, the family of Sergeant Daniel Baker has been watching this. They've been there day in and day out, and Stephanie told us yesterday that they actually had to leave the courtroom, some of them, because it was too much to handle. And honestly, I can't even imagine what that family is going through. So today, again, we'll hear from the jurors, see what the verdict is, and hopefully that family can get some sort of closure today, because it's been since 2018 since this crime happened.
The man charged with killing Dickson County Sergeant Daniel Baker in 2018 is Stephen Wiggins. You can see him there. And at the bottom left portion of your screen is actually Sergeant Daniel's wife, Lisa. So she has been in the court there. Wiggins is facing a total of 10 charges, which include first-degree murder, vehicular arson, abuse of a corpse, and impersonation of law enforcement. So he could be sentenced to death. Again, the defense asking that if it comes back with a guilty plea, that they have 24 hours to decide what they are going to ask for as it moves forward.
I think we have everyone now. Well,
it sounds like the first count that they're going to be reading is theft of property. And then we're going to go to premeditated murder. Again, we have a lot of counts to go through, so stay with us. There you see the judge right there in Dickson County. A long-awaited moment for a lot of people. And again, these jurors were pulled from Knoxville, so they didn't have any prior knowledge to this case. Alex, is it my understanding that the jurors have already gone in there? Are they seated? Not yet. We're still waiting on the jurors.
Yeah,
okay.
So this is Knoxville. Those 12 jurors have not yet been seated.
And again, keep in mind, we will not be showing the faces of those jurors. We're going to keep that private.
You know, we were talking about yesterday, Tuesday, those two officers who discovered Baker's body, providing that incredibly emotional testimony for us. The first came from Nathaniel Proctor. He's from the Drug Task Force. He was the one who opened the door to Sergeant Baker's vehicle, discovering his body. He said, I'm recounting what he was saying, I moved to the back door on the driver's side and his legs and feet come out. It's into my chest. What was your reaction, they asked, when you opened the door? As a father, I thought about his little girl. He said that's all he could think about was these are his friends, not only his partner, but friend.
And I thought you should be in here when that verdict is announced. All right. Now we are ready for the 12 jurors who have reached a verdict.
Okay, so we're told that the four alternates, the alternate jurors were just brought in and seated, and now they are bringing in the rest of the jurors. So now we understand that we will be able to hear their verdict on these several counts, and we will walk you through those.
And these are high-profile cases that we're discussing here. You may recognize this judge, same judge in the Baby Joe trial, so back-to-back really prevalent cases that have rocked Middle Tennessee and the state of Tennessee, for that matter.
And again, we are talking about the murder trial of Stephen Wiggins. This is the man that is charged with killing Dickson County Sergeant Daniel Baker back in 2018. This, again, is being held in Dickson County, heard by a jury of 12 selected from Knoxville residents. And this is the fourth day of the trial. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised that we're already reaching a verdict, but we've already heard a lot of testimony and seen a lot of damning evidence, especially
Well,
with
even
the body camera
defense,
footage.
absolutely.
Yes,
Even the defense has said there is no doubt that they think Wiggins was the one pulling the trigger. You've seen clearly.
Right. Well, we have video of him.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so
on body
now it's
camera
really,
footage, yeah.
is this a premeditated act
All right,
that could
ladies and
face
gentlemen,
him
it's
the
my
death
understanding
penalty?
that you had reached a verdict on all 10 counts. Is that correct? Is the foreman or forelady here among us? Could you please indicate who you are? Mr. McGuire, if you will hand your verdict form to the bailiff and let me examine it before, and then I'll have you read the verdict of the jury. All right, I'll pass this back to the juror. And our foreman. I'm going to go through them with you individually. If you will refer, if you would just stand and announce the verdict that you have received, you will not be shown on camera. So, all right, as to count 1 of the indictment, the charge of false report, can you tell me how does the jury find?
Guilty, Your Honor.
As to count 2, premeditated first-degree murder, how does the jury find?
Guilty, Your Honor.
As to felony murder, first-degree murder, felony murder on count 3, how does the jury find?
Guilty, Your Honor.
As to count 4, theft of property, how does the jury find?
Guilty, Your Honor.
As to count 5, theft of property, how does the jury find?
Guilty, Your Honor.
As to count 6, criminal impersonation, how does the jury find?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And as to count 7, criminal impersonation, how does the jury find?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Count 8, tampering with evidence, how does the jury find?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And count 9, arson, how does the jury find?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And count 10, abuse of the corpse, how does the jury find?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, is this the unanimous verdict of all 12 of you who decided this case? May you affirm by raising your hand. Let the record reflect all 12 jurors have affirmed the verdict. As the 13th juror, this court affirms that verdict as well. And ladies and gentlemen, so that you may understand, our 4 members that were not chosen to be on the 12 have been retained as alternates for the next stage, so that we can determine whether or not that might be necessary in the event of an emergency, which means that they will necessarily be separated from you, and they will be unable to discuss the case with you or with anyone else or among themselves. So I would remind you that your discussions about this case may only take place among the 12 of you when you are in the jury room during your deliberations. The next phase that we'll be moving to will be what we call the punishment phase. We talked about it during jury selection so that you understand what your 3 choices of punishments are going to be. Those are going to be life with the possibility of parole after serving 51 years. Life, this is as to the 2 counts 2 and 3 that we're considering here. Those are the only 2 that you will be asked to impose a sentence. The other is life in prison with no possibility of parole, and the third is the imposition of the death penalty. We would normally have a sentencing hearing, and that both sides have requested an opportunity to prepare for that after. You just keep in mind that we've been going now, this is the 9th day that we have been involved, those of us who are involved in the law, legal aspect of it, the lawyers and my staff and myself have been, this is 9 days that we've been doing it. I realize you've been doing it a long time too. But what we're going to do is we're going to recess. Is tomorrow afternoon at 1 sufficient time for you, or do you need further than that?
Can we approach?
You may. Ladies and gentlemen, let me get off the record. Hold on. Does this need to be on the record or off?
Okay, you just heard it there. Stephen Wiggins guilty on all 10 counts. That includes theft of property, tampering with evidence, premeditated first-degree murder, felony murder, among other things. And we are told that the jurors started deliberating around 2:30 today.
So that was an hour and a half it took them to find Stephen Wiggins guilty on all 10 charges. We have our Stephanie Langston there in the courtroom for us. We saw Lisa Baker, his wife, holding hands with his mother-in-law, and we also saw Stephen Wiggins. There are some reports that possibly he was crying when the sentence was read. Now, the judge instructing the jury that counts 2 and 3, there still needs to be some deliberation on this part. There will either be a sentence of life in prison without parole or the death penalty. That was for felony murder and first-degree murder, premeditated. So we are going to continue to follow this story.
And I believe it's my understanding that the 4 alternates will be involved in that next step as well, deliberating whether or not he's going to be getting the death penalty or life in prison with no possibility of parole.
In case there is an emergency, they will have another
Yes.
juror stand by ready to go so they don't have to declare a mistrial. But we want to thank you for joining us here on News 2. As we got that news to you first, Stephen Wiggins guilty on all 10 charges. We're going to take a quick break and come back here on News 2 at 4.
What we were trying to determine was how to proceed from here. None of us always know, and no one certainly can presume what a jury may do in regards to a case like this. And as a result, this next phase is going to be obviously very important, and both sides need time to prepare. You've been going now for 4 days in a row, so we're going to give you a day off tomorrow. And we'll come back on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock to begin the sentencing phase. So you will, when you are transported, our 4 jurors that are alternates are going to be transported separately from you. They will be at the same hotel, but they're not going to be able to be discussed with you, and they'll be, kept separately from you. Again, if you see them, you have to treat them like you would anyone else that's not a part of this. They're going to be sitting in on the sentencing hearing the same as you in the event. They'll hear everything you hear, and I'm speaking as though you're not here, but those of you on the front row are going to hear everything just the same as the 12 behind us. And that way, if there is a need to substitute one of you, there is a procedure we can go by that will allow that to happen, and you'll have the same information. So
Okay, again, we are not going to break. We're going to stick with you. And again, Stephen Wiggins charged on all 10 counts, guilty, I should say, on all 10 counts. He is now charged in the murder of Sergeant Daniel Baker. And Saturday at 9 o'clock, that sentencing phase starts. So we will bring you the latest, both on air and online at WKRN.com.